All right, man, we back. Goodfellas, Motor City Sports Talk. Sorry, wrong stream. But hey, Motor City Sports Talk, we in the building. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Today, we will be talking about our Lions preparing for life after Stafford, or are they preparing to give Stafford a brand new contract? And we're going to talk about who is the most improved team in the NFC North. Pardon air conditions a little bit muggy, so y'all know how that go. But yeah, it's gonna be a 90-degree one tomorrow, so everybody be prepared. All my truck drivers, landscapers, and all my people that work outdoors and indoors, so be prepared. But I do appreciate everybody for checking back in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Best way to donate to the channel is share the video. If you want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal description. Always you can super chat during live streams and premieres. If you ever need to reach out, on my links there. Like I said, people that's waiting on certain things from me, it's a little bit of time. The new series I'm starting is going to take some more time, so want to get it right. And I'll get to everybody's requests. At one point, I will be starting a mailbag once a week, so trying to get some things situated so it could be a unique experience. But other than that, once again, I do appreciate everybody for tapping in. Don't forget, check my other channel out, Goodfellas Sports TV, for more sports, music, news, and entertainment right here on YouTube. Goodfellas Sports TV. So came out that Stafford is owed no guarantee money past this season. He has an option the day before the regular season kicks off, whenever that is. But shout out to Chris. I see you. Shout out to Checkmate RLSH. And Chris, I hope all is well there in Michigan for everyone. Yeah, I just came back from the park walking my dog, or dogs. So yeah, everything went well. It's going well. The stay-at-home order is being lifted the 8th, I believe, and still waiting on gyms, casinos, and salons to open back up. She having a little gripe versus because somebody sent me an article, my boy Darnell from Gipsy. She got a problem against the gyms because they suing her for basically stopping them from making money. But hey, safety first, I guess. But yeah, man, Stafford is owed no guaranteed money, right? A lot of people got mad at the video. A lot of people read the title of an article or read the title of a video and goddamn listen. It don't cost you nothing to listen. You can be running listening. You can be jump roping listening. Sometimes I might be playing a video game listening. Sometimes I might be driving and listening. And it don't cost you nothing to read most of these articles neither. You know what I'm saying? Reading is fundamental, right? And like I said before, don't just read titles. Sometimes titles there are eye-catching and deceiving to bring the reader in, but a lot of people just run with the title and just run with it. You feel what I'm saying? So Stafford is no guaranteed money, right? I didn't read much into him selling his house. I don't even think I really talked about it before I dropped the Stafford video the other day. But what you got to understand is you let me know any top 15 quarterbacks playing on non-guaranteed money, or some people believe Stafford is a top 10 quarterback. Let me know any of those dudes playing on non-guaranteed money. Take class, salute. He says, as much as I love Stafford, I don't think he'll ever be as good as he used to be. I mean, that's natural progression. Only way he'd be good as he used to be if they support him with a running game, support him with the best weapons he could. And they never supported Calvin fully with a full team, never supported Barry fully with a full team. So I don't think that's on Stafford. You feel me? Michael, I see you. 2014, the best say was his best year. That's it. And that's the year they kind of had some success running the ball a little bit too. But I don't think it's about his playing. I mean, it's about his playing. I really believe this is a proven year for Matthew Stafford because there's no guaranteed money. Do people understand what that means? That means they can cut Stafford at any point after this year and not owe him a dime. It's not just an option year. There is no more guaranteed money. So Stafford is selling his house. Dante Alexander, salute my brother. He's selling his house. Now, I didn't read into the house selling thing. You know what I'm saying? I watched Pat McPhee a little bit talk about it. And the reason they say they selling the house is because of the infinity pool in the back. It's the biggest in Michigan, I think they were saying. I'm like, all right, they got kids. But it came out that the Georgia house got a pool there, and they already had, well, we already knew this, they already had twins and a kid before that. So they had 3 kids. So a 4th baby makes you want to move because of a pool. But they got a pool in Georgia. They had 3 kids before this 4th baby was coming. So it's not about a pool. Like I said before, when they were saying, oh, you lying about Stafford, in the trade rumors, that's just hogwash. If it truly was hogwash and it truly was that, they should have used it as a smoke screen. A smoke screen to act like they was drafting 2 would have moved down. But the Lions organization ain't smart enough to do it. That was real. about them going back and forth to the media about rumors that the Lions may not want executives saying they may be looking to trade Stafford. That was real, but it made no absolute sense to trade Stafford, and his cap hit was as big as it was. It was like 20 something, almost $30 million, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. So at the end of the day, Stafford, they wasn't about to just trade Stafford and pay him $20, $30 million. And on the other hand, they wasn't going to be paying Stafford $15 million this year and then pay another quarterback, quarterback money. The Fords are just simply that cheap. Martha don't care shit about putting a winner on the field. Real talk. It's as simple as that. They didn't want to pay two quarterbacks at the same time. And that's been a narrative. It's not because coaches didn't want to challenge Matthew Stafford or GMs didn't want to have security behind Matthew Stafford. And they probably wanted to sign an Andy Dalton and Cam Newton, or they probably wanted to draft a Tua. But I always said this: Martha Ford is more, and William Clay Ford, he was sorry as hell at Ford. That's why they gave him the Lions to keep his nose out of Ford business. They don't want to spend the money. I don't even think it's they love for Matthew Stafford. I just plain simply believe they don't want to pay two quarterbacks quarterback money, even if the rookie money seems nothing. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. They're not getting the money that Stafford was getting when he was a rookie. It's capped off. I think Sam Bradford may have been the last rookie to get it. So at the same time, I do believe the Fords have more. They have more to blame than the general manager. I don't think the general manager can put the team that he wants to put around in Detroit the way he wants to put there because the Fords are stopping them. You got two women running the Ford organization, Sheila and whatever the hell the other guy's name is, Martha. Excuse me. They running the Detroit Lions organization. They don't know what they're doing. Women like to spend money on shit. Women like to spend money on. They don't understand spending money in football situations. They want to spend money on dresses and shoes and $5,000 comforter sets, and they want to spend money on shit like that, paintings and get my nails, my hair, my glasses done. They don't understand why investing money into a football franchise. They don't get it. She don't know a difference from a quarterback and a halfback. I guarantee you that. She don't know. So I can't fully blame Bob Quinn for the moves that he's made, but I can blame him for bringing in Matt Patricia. He wanted to bring his own head coach. He wanted to eventually bring in his own offensive coordinator. He brought in his own defensive coordinator. He brought in his own everything basically. Once he was able to get rid of Jim Bob Cooter, he brought in everything he wanted to bring in. So you telling me he don't want to bring in his own head coach? His own quarterback? Absolutely he do. And you a fool to believe if he don't want to bring in his own head coach. Straight up and down. You name me another quarterback that's y'all believe Stafford is top 10. Y'all believe Stafford is top 10. Name me another top 10 quarterback that's at least in his second year deal that's playing on non-guaranteed money. Name me that. Name me. Name me who else. Drew Brees ain't playing on non-guaranteed money. Tom Brady, I don't believe playing on non-guaranteed money. Who else in the game that's at least on their second contract? Phillip Rivers not playing on a lot of non-guaranteed money. Ben Roethlisberger, he got his bread. He just got his bread. Eli Manning wasn't playing on non-guaranteed money. He was sorry as hell last year. So you name me somebody else. Now, if we get to training camp and they see Stafford is believe the hype, salute. They see Stafford is good and they rip up the contract and get Stafford a new contract, then that put everything to rest. He's selling his house. And his issue was a pool. And he got a pool at his other house. He had 3 kids before he had this 4th kid. And that's the reason you selling. He getting ready to get the fuck up out of here. I truly believe that. Now, if he go out there and have an MVP type season, then they gonna rip up his contract and give him a new one. It's either one or the other. Either he leaving via retirement, he leaving via trade, he leaving via release, or they tearing up that contract. Stafford is not staying in Detroit for playing on non-guaranteed money. At any moment, they can cut this man and not owe him nothing. No other top-tier quarterback, no other most valuable player to their team is playing with non-guaranteed money, and they not bitching and complaining about it. That's facts. Take T Clash say, I hope he's a career line, but he needs to start taking less if we want to actually win. I'm not even asking him to take less. Get your money. Get your money. It ain't him. You could take less, and they still not put the soldiers around you need. Real talk. I wouldn't take a dime less to stay in Detroit if I'm any of the Lion players. If anything, I'm like in Dominican Sue. I'm going to run the checkup. Because even if I take less, they're not going to surround me with the troops I need to be successful. Now, if you telling me I take less and I can have the success personnel-wise that Tom Brady had at one point in New England, I get it. I get it. If you promise me you're going to bring some real thumpers in that's going to help me win at the end of my career, I get it. But they haven't proven to do it. So, whoever you want to blame on the personnel reasons, the missed draft picks, or, the scheme, blame them. Mike will say, you probably know the Fords are going to pay him a bunch of money anyways, though. If they're going to pay him a bunch of money, we'll see. It's going to be, if they are, it's going to be the day before the season. If they rip up that contract, would I be surprised? No. I'm kind of expecting it. If he come out and play good the first 3 games of the year, or he come out and have a good training camp, they probably going to rip that contract up and pay him. That's why they sitting on the $29 million they sitting on now. That could be a reason. You can't predict what idiots do. You can't predict what a woman gonna do with a football franchise, and that's straight up and down. I ain't mentioning no words on that. None. None. Tayshawn Mason, salute. T-Class, way too many young quarterbacks have taken over the league. Yup, for less money. Russell was one of the first ones. Lamar, Patrick. It sounds like they don't want to pay Patrick Mahomes the money he worth. He gonna be worth a lot of money. They never wanted to pay Tom Brady what he was worth. He not top 10 anymore. Like I said before. It's your opinion. I'm not knocking it. Detroit Legend Sportscast, salute. There are ways to hide money. He said, Chris said we could see a ton of Rocket Mortgage and Ford commercials soon. I think at this point in Matthew Stafford's career, I think he's going to win more than anything. One Super Bowl, he going to the Hall of Fame. With his numbers, one Super Bowl in the Hall of Fame. So I don't think it's just about the money for him. I don't. He got money. He got the hot chick. He got kids. He had the cars. He had the dope house. Like I said before, those rumors weren't fake. And motherfuckers gonna start putting respect on my name. Like I told y'all last year, Matthew Stafford was still hurt. How many people came up, oh, you just being negative. You just hate Stafford. It was a fucking fact. He took 14 days off from throwing the football, bro. That's what you do as a quarterback. In the first year of a new offensive coordinator, come on, man. Let's just keep it 100. People can talk all the shit they want to talk about my channel. I don't care because, one, they're not going to say it to my face. 2, I'm not a fanboy. Never claimed to be. I approach this as I'm putting my money on football, and I'm giving you a totally logical explanation for this. It's no hating, no nothing, but a lot of people can't get that. A lot of these boys put they fucking Kool-Aid panties on, and they want to be fanboys. I ain't never been a fanboy. If I don't think my team gonna win, I'm not gonna come on here and tell you they gonna win. I hope they win. Straight up and down. I'm not kissing no ass. I ain't trying to fight niggas. I'm just letting you know you're not gonna say it to my face. I'm not worried about it. So at the end of the day, you can't predict what the Lions are. You can't predict what the Lions do. If you think they're gonna lose, they're gonna win. You think they're gonna win, they're gonna lose. It's always the way it's been. I had a guy I worked at the plane where I bet on him. The first 2 games of the year, I went with the Lions to lose and the Lions to win. It's the year they played the Colts and Amir Abdullah had a good game. I lost my money the first 2 weeks. The next, 14, 15, 20 weeks of the season, I took his money. And if I run into him, I'm going to get him to do a drop on the channel and tell him I took his money every week. I stopped fucking with the bet Lions. That's the one pick I took his money every week. I bought lunch every week for myself off him. And I ain't talking no goddamn no Subway sub. I'm talking about some good ass fucking Monday lunch. Where everybody in there eating mayonnaise sandwiches and eating Cheetos and spending their money on liquor and shit. I'm in there eating like steak and shrimp and stuff. I'm eating good. Off of him. Had another guy bet with in college football every year. I was taking his money. He was like, "You want to bet on Michigan and Ohio State?" And people on this channel know how big of a fan I am of Michigan, just as I'm a bigger fan with the Lions and the Pistons. Hell no. I'm here to win it. I ain't here to lose no money. I'm here to win it. I take more satisfaction in being right than winning the money. So that just lets you know where I'm coming from. I hate to lose. And shout out to YouTube for getting my notification gang out. So this ain't nothing personal. Take my channel as a completely straight shooting channel. 100% 100 objective. Straight up and down. So at the end of the day, it's a fact that he has no more guaranteed money after this year. So 2 or 3 things or 4 things can happen. They can tear up his contract because I don't know no other quarterback that's even with top flight organizations that's paying on non-guaranteed money. You name them to me. Not rookie deals. I'm talking about guys that's at least got a second contract in the league. Phillip Rivers not. Drew Brees not. Tom Brady not. So I don't know who playing on non-guaranteed money who got the respect on his name and the numbers that Matthew Stafford got. None of them, bro. None of them. Yo, Fitzpatrick's might be playing on non-guaranteed money, but Rodgers not. Kirk Cousins had a fully guaranteed contract, and Matthew Stafford is better than Kirk Cousins. He just ain't had the support that Kirk Cousins had in Minnesota. That's a fact. So, with him selling this house, and that house ain't going to sell tomorrow. That house may take a year to sell. 2 years to sell. I think Adam Gase still got a house in Dearborn, he said, that he ain't sold when he was with the Lions in the middle of the 2000s. Right now with this pandemic, that house ain't selling no time fast unless it goes well below market value. That house is up for sale for $6.5 million. With CEOs stepping down and all this stuff that's going on until the economy jump back up, that house may at the earliest sell at the top of 2021. And that's if we don't have no more setbacks with pandemics or just crazy year 2020. So when people come in here, oh, you hating this, that, and that, I ain't trying to hear that cocksucker stuff. All I'm telling you is he got no more guaranteed money past this year. It's either going to rip his contract up and pay him a ton of money. He ain't taking no discount to play in Detroit. He going to have retirement money off, real retirement money. Or they're going to trade him and somebody going to rip the contract and give him a new contract. Or he going to retire and walk away from the game. It's one of those reasons. One of those options. So when people getting butthurt about Stafford, like I said, a lot of these black people that come in here defending Stafford, they don't even defend their own like that. They don't even defend their own people like that. So I'm not trying to hear from none of you Jason Whitlock dudes. Just straight up and down. And that's how I'm feeling. You ain't gonna never hear me, tiptoeing the racial thin line that we going through right now or ever. You ain't gonna hear me buck dance. You ain't gonna hear me waver or nothing like that. Fuck that. Straight up and down. But that's your options right there. And I didn't understand. I knew he had an option to get out, but I did not know he didn't have no more guaranteed money. So $15 million this year. If he play well, he make the Pro Bowl. They win the Super Bowl, MVP, NFC Championship game, or shit. They make it to a playoff game. He play well. He gonna be here. But to be honest, in my honest opinion, or my honest synopsis of this offseason, it looked like they playing for the future. I know Bob Quinn gonna be here next year. I know Matt Patricia gonna be here next year. That's how I'm feeling. Unless something drastically goes wrong, I know they gonna be here. I know it because look at how they built this team. Straight up, look how they built this team. They built this team with 2 rookie guards, right? 2 rookie guards. Now, the guard position is very, very vital. It's not the most important position on the line, but it's the fastest way to the quarterback, north and south. They put 2 rookie guards there. They picked a developmental player last year in TJ Hawkinson. They picked another developmental position at cornerback with Jeff Okudah. However you like it or not, Jeff Okuda is probably not going to be an upgrade from Darius Slay. Not right away. Eventually, I think he'll be a better player. But right now, he's not going to be the difference between them winning and losing a championship. So you're talking about impact players, you're talking about left tackles, you're talking about superior running backs, Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton. If you go on receivers, you're talking about Megatron, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss type of guys that had that type of impact. You're talking about defenders. You're talking about a dog-ass defensive tackle that can penetrate and rush the quarterback, or you talking about outside pass rushers, DeMarcus Ware, Lawrence Taylor, Khalil Mack. Those are your truly impactful players that can come in and make an impact. Not a tight end, not a quarterback. I mean, not a cornerback. Straight up and down. The game of football is taken serious from the trenches on out. On out. That's how you build a football team. You don't build a football team from the defensive backfield to the front. That's my issue. They took way too many developmental players, and they haven't been able to develop players lately. And if they have been able to develop them like Hen. I think Amani developed Tracy Walker. They had some type of injury problem. And that's my whole thing. Devin Bush or Ed Oliver should have been the pick last year, straight up and down. This year the pick should have been somebody to protect Matthew Stafford, left tackle, for years to come. His blind side for years to come. You know what I'm saying? And Tavai pick was a reach last year, but we'll see what he got this year. So it's all going to be about this team going to float or sink on first and second year players. And if it's going to float or sink on first and second year players, it's going to float or sink for Matthew Stafford health. If those rookie guards come in and do a tremendous job and protect Stafford and open up hills, and they're able to run the ball, the Lions going to have a top 7 defense offense easily. If Matt Patricia able to fix the kinks in his schematic scheme, his schematic in defense, this team can at least be a top 15 defense just with the talent they got. He able to manufacture more pressure, may it be by scheme, may it be blitzing more, may it be disguising more, or maybe he just got the right talent there. It could be a top 15 defense. But a top 7 offense, top 15 defense, and if the Cincinnati special teams coordinator, which I can't put the stress on him enough, could come in and get the special teams turned around. We lost a lot of games on special teams over the last couple of years. So if the special teams guy can turn it around, now we're in a situation where the Lions are going to be players. Aaron Rodgers is on par to get injured this year. Nick Foles always get injured, and Trubisky is the Bears' Achilles heel. We'll get there. Kirk Cousins, if Dalvin Cook go down with an injury, and then we have an extra playoff spot this year on both conferences, the Lions can easily get into the playoffs and do some things. It's all going to be predicated on Patricia and his scheme defensively. Stafford help. Can they block for Stafford, open up holes, and the special teams at least being average this year in the NFL, the Lions got a chance to turn it around. Now, the chances of those things happening, I don't know. Most people probably say slim to none, knowing that this team haven't really won much since 1957, since the Forest purchased them and took over them. But at the same time, you got the quarterback. He got the arm. He just need the help. He need Marvin Hall to be his deep threat. He need DeAndre Swift to be his explosive back. He need Kerryon to be a guy he can count on to be Mr. Everything. Bo Scarborough to bang it up. Marvin Jones, keep doing what you're doing. Amendola, keep doing what you're doing. Galladay going to take another step this year if he's healthy. Then we got Hockenson and Jesse James. Daryl Bevel got to get them involved in the middle of the field and moving the sticks. He got everything he needs. You just concerned about Taylor Decker just not being aggressive enough at left tackle for my liking. The guards developing. We know what Ragnar going to bring, and Big V being at least a slight upgrade from Rick Wagner. You're going to have a good football team this year, at least offensively. So, and then Patricia defense is a whole other story. But all I'm saying is the writing's on the wall. Straight up and down. The writing's on the wall that either Stafford about to get paid. I got to get mine. You got to get yours. Go look it up. MC Breed Tupac. Shout out to Flint. RIP to MC Breed. He about to get paid or he about to get moved. So that's the thing about it. And he not playing on no non-guaranteed money. I could bet my pretty penny on that. And if he do, he may not show up. He said Stafford gonna retire soon, like Calvin and Barry. Sell it to Canelo. So I sell it to LaMelo, excuse me. He have to go after this year. What if you have a good year, Frederick? Do we still gotta go? Is the question. And if he going this year, they should have had a quarterback in the chamber, even if it was Eason or Jalen Hurts. It ain't. I don't care if you train him. You get one of those dudes and do the Kirk Cousins, Robert Griffin the third, and not draft the quarterbacks in the same year, but draft another top quarterback next year. They should have had somebody developing around behind Stafford, but like I said before, that's a whole another question for another day. I called him retiring on one of your old videos when his girl got in her feelings over trade rumors. Benjamin Foe. Michael said when he signed the contract was like 95 million guaranteed, so that's shocking. It was all in the first 3 years. I don't think it's so shocking. Julio Jones signed the extension like 99 or 98% of his money was paid up front. So yep, that's something. That's something to look at. That's why his cap hits was $30+ million or something like that. Rivers on a 1 year deal. Rodgers is dickweed, and Brady just signed a new deal from someone other than the Pats. I think they're trying to get Stafford in a Brady situation in New England and stock talent for him. But it's stock talent. They haven't stocked talent with. They haven't stocked talent at all. Green Bay don't really stock talent in free agency a lot. A lot of time they stock it to the draft. So who gonna come to Detroit? Nobody. So they can't stock. They don't have the ability to stock talent around Matthew Stafford. They haven't showed it, at least by a point. Elijah Rush said, "I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big Stafford fan because this franchise is terrible and did him wrong his whole career, and it's hard to get good quarterbacks. That's been only bright spot for the last 10 years. Good is subjective. If like I said before, people argue me up and down. As a quarterback, your record is telling if you good or not. He hasn't won in this league. It's not his fault. I say that. The Lions have made him look a lot worse than what he has been, but he hasn't won, and that's the biggest quarterback stat of all. To me, that's the difference for him right now. That's what make Brady and Joe Montana over Dan Marino. Dan Marino is just as more talented than both of them. John Elway was just as talented, if not more talented than both of them. The difference is they Super Bowls and winning. If the O-line steps up, Stafford balling out guaranteed. Agreed. Primetime only one. And Primetime did a lot of his splash and was due to a kick returning. People forget that. That's a lot of his splash to plays came from, but he was a dope corner. I totally agree. We should have taken Bush. That will haunt us for a while. We need a linebacker more than a tight end. Yup. Haven't had a star linebacker since Levy, and Levy had that one good year after they got rid of Justin Durant. I think he had that one good year, and then he got injured. He never was the same. Never played again. Do you think Patricia will re-up? Will they re-up to Patricia and get in a GM if Stafford leaves? Depends on how I go this year. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if they would bring back Patricia Stafford league. They might. They very well might. Maybe they very well may do that. We win in 5 games max this year. Stafford won't make it a full season. I don't have a prediction, but 5 games, I don't know. We'll see. When you count them out, man, Lions count in. So I can't really say. If the team bad, he get fired at 1/3. I don't think they can fire him in the middle of the season, unless they like 1-7 or they losing and they get embarrassed on Thanksgiving. If he get embarrassed on Thanksgiving Day, and they mathematically probably damn near eliminated by Thanksgiving Day from the playoffs, and he embarrassed them on Thanksgiving, they probably get fired. That's the only scenario. If they make it past Thanksgiving, I don't see them getting fired. I don't. O-line is the key. I agree. And D-line. That gives them the chance to see Bevel be a coach. No, Bevel ain't no head coach material. I don't think so. He said it's the biggest stat, but at the same time exceptions because it's the Lions' bad drafting, early retirement, stars like Sue leaving, more bad man. Yeah, true. But at the end of the day, you look at the situation and they don't excuse me. They don't how can I say it? They don't really they don't really look back at that shit. They look at what you done. And I agree. One Super Bowl, man. One Super Bowl could change Stafford's career to being one of the great. One Super Bowl in Detroit is worth like 10 of them. If Matthew Stafford, Frederick say, was that good, you could take a tight end in the 5th round. Your quarterback would have made him look good. I don't know what they what they MO is with tight ends, Pettigrew, Ebron, and Hawkinson, but I don't know if he just not good throwing the tight ends. Because Andrew Luck made Ebron look really, really good, but Andrew Luck throws a more catchable ball. That's the difference. But, they did draft a tight end in the 5th round, didn't they? Michael Roberts, whatever it was, out of Toledo. They took him before Kareem Hunt. They both came out of Toledo. So, like I said, I think it's more to do with the organization in Stafford, straight up and down. I agree 100%, but it is what it is. Winning their pass rush, that's the most. That's what has been winning the Super Bowls. I mean, pass rush and running the ball, stopping the run. Lions' main problem is they don't know how to develop players, and that's to coaching, man. Positional coaches, dude. I agree with that. I agree with that. I feel, bro, watching these games on Sunday, they praise Stafford. I don't think people look down on him for not winning. Yes, they do. They sure do. They do look down on him. Unless you Dan Orlowski or some shit like that, or Nate Burleson who played with it. He, if you go look at him, a lot of people don't think he that good outside of Detroit. When I argue or wear my jersey out of town, I get a lot of people talking, he ain't that good. But people don't watch the video, don't watch the games. They don't watch the games. It's easy to look at some highlights and say, oh, how good is he? But if you watch the games, you actually, see the throws that he making, some of the things that he do. Do we have his issues? Absolutely. Brett Favre did too. Brett Favre throw it to the other team more than his team. So Eli Manning, but the difference was they won. The organization supported him. You put Brett Favre in Detroit, he don't win shit. You put Eli Manning in Detroit, he don't make it out of year 5. He probably retire. You know what I'm saying, or get cut. You put Eli in San Diego instead of Phillip Rivers, he don't survive in San Diego. You put Phillip Rivers in New York, he probably had 2 or 3, 4 Super Bowls in New York. A lot of these players would have been a lot better players in different situations. In another parallel universe, like some Spider-Man type stuff, a lot of these dudes would have been a lot better in other organizations. I'm telling you. That's bar none. You put Megatron with Peyton Manning, or you put Megatron with Tom Brady. Are we having a debate about Jerry Rice and Calvin Johnson? Absolutely not. We're not having that debate. It's not a debate. No offense to Jerry Rice. I think he's the greatest receiver of all time. Easy. Same thing with Barry. A lot of people believe Barry the best running back of all time. But if you put him in motherfucking Dallas, you put him in Detroit, it wouldn't be close. It wouldn't be competitive. Should have Barry played for them 2 or 3 years that June Jones said he played for. Barry Sanders probably, Emmitt Smith is nothing. Straight up and down, Emmitt Smith is nothing. Yeah, Rodgers wouldn't have no Super Bowl if he didn't play in Detroit. He wouldn't have a Super Bowl if Detroit Lions didn't injure him that season. People forget that happened. So when I talk about Stafford, I only could talk about the universe that he in right now. Straight up and down. I could tell you with all these, excuses or all these what ifs, fifths of Henny, fifths of Bacardi, fifths of 1740, 1940, whatever you dudes is drinking. Do say nasty ass shit. We could talk about all these ifs, but I only could talk about what's going on now. I understand that if he played in Denver, it'd be a different situation. If he played in New York instead of Eli, it'd be a different situation. But we can say the same thing about the Cleveland Browns. All the quarterbacks they had come through Cleveland, people get mad at Baker Mayfield. People mad because I like Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to. He got fucking swag. I like him because he nasty. He mean. He fiery. He everything these soft-ass NFL players ain't. I'm tired of seeing them exchange jerseys. You feel what I'm saying? I'm tired of them hugging, exchanging cleats after the game. I want somebody to talk that shit and grab their nuts and say, and they going to destroy Baker Mayfield if they don't give him help up front. Straight up and down. When you got a quarterback that's a little bit below average height or right at their regular height, you got to be able to have the linemen are more important than everything else around him. And that's a fact. And that's a fact. So you will get marginalized if you ain't in the right system, especially in the NBA, especially in the NFL. I'll use this example before I move on, talking about the most improved in the NFC, right? I was watching the OJ Simpson documentary, like a few months ago. And one of the things about that doc that I was checking out was the first year he had. I'm looking for something on my phone. Give me a minute. The first year, I didn't erase this, so give me a minute. But the first year he had a coach that tried to make him a receiving back, and he wasn't a receiving back. You feel me? And he was terrible. He was on the cusp of probably being outside. Uh, he was on the cusp of being outside the NFL and being cut. They brought in a new coach. He was committed to the run, and he took off. He took off. And when he took off, it was pretty much over with. OJ became, the juice, the player that, people thought he was coming out of USC. And in the wrong system, OJ was an ordinary, mundane running back. Straight up and down. He got a new coaching change and he took off, and he was probably the premier running back of all time. Remember that Hurts commercial? So, and a lot of people, somebody say Tim Duncan. A lot of people feel Tim Duncan overrated. I can make a case that, like Shaq said, Chris Webber was a better basketball player. Tim Duncan just went into the right situation when the Spurs, tanked and drafted him with David Robinson. I know maybe some people, agree with what Shaq was saying. Maybe people don't agree with what Shaq was saying. But Tim Duncan was a great basketball player, but he went into the right situation. Is Martin Mayhew your favorite GM of all time? What, for the Lions? I gotta think about that one. No, I don't. I would say no. When they drafted Barry, that team with Brent Perryman, Herman Moore, that running shoot offense was dope. Man, forget Stafford. We need a dual threat quarterback. The thing about a dual threat quarterback is that it will open up the run game. When Joe Flacco was, running the offense for Baltimore before Lamar was in, they running game didn't go nowhere. They put Lamar in, they running game took off. So you may be onto something, but he said Shaq be saying some dumb stuff. But like I said before, Tim Duncan just went into the right situation. If David Robinson wasn't there, Tim Duncan would have been categorized as a center, straight up and down. Tim Duncan would have been categorized as a center. So, like I said before, Tim Duncan, great player. But like I said, I can make a case that Chris Webber was just as good as him. Maybe not defensively, but passing the ball, shooting the ball. But Tim Duncan, great player. Don't take it wrong. But I wouldn't put him above Akeem Olajuwon. I wouldn't put him above Akeem. Straight up and down. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, he get left out of people top 10 too. I like KG better. This is my personal opinion. I was a KG guy, but I like Tim as well. Other than when he's beating the shit out the Pistons, but yeah. But let's talk about the most improved team in NFC North, and it ain't been a lot of improving in NFC North. I mean, I think the Bears is the wild card in this division, and I said it before, and I hate the fucking Bears. I hate them, but they definitely the wild card in this division because if Nick Foles step up and he step up and he ball out, they the most dangerous team until you get injured. But if Trubisky the quarterback, I ain't worried about nothing. What Fresh Montana say? I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing. They the biggest wild card this year. That's the biggest improvement that I can see coming from outside Detroit in this division. If Nick Foles come in there and ball out and they throw the ball around, now they lost Taylor Gabriel. I like Gabriel. They brought Jimmy Graham in. I don't understand that. He's sorry as hell at this point in his career. But defensively, they added Robert Quinn. He did a good job in Dallas last year in a revival year. Khalil Mack. They got rid of one of them dudes. Was it Floyd from Georgia or was it Roquan Smith? I forget which one. They both from Georgia. So I think they get Spence back. They added Gibson at safety. So, it depends on Chicago where it go with the quarterback. If the quarterback is good, they'll probably dog walk the division. If the quarterback position ain't good, they probably gonna be fighting for the basement room in the basement division. So the Bears, like I said before, I'm objective. The Bears is not trash. The Bears are only trash because their quarterback is trash. If Nick Foles step up and play good, that Bear defense is probably gonna run away with this division until Nick Foles get injured. Straight up and down. That's the only thing I really see that's holding them back. Montgomery, Tyreek Cohen, but that's a big thing that holds you back. When you got questions at the quarterback position, that's really the only position that you can go from worst to first to worst, or worst to first, or first to worst, excuse me. So you should be worried about the Bears. Why wouldn't you be worried about a team with Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, and the defense that they bring in? Eddie Jackson is one of the best safeties out there. They did lose Prince Amukamara. Gibson is a good, safety at this point in his career that can ball hawk. Special teams, I don't even know who their kicker is. They usually kicker miss a whole bunch of kicks. I don't know. I forget. Remember Robbie Gold got ran out of town. But offensively, I like Robinson. He's from Detroit. I like Anthony Miller. He's from Memphis. I don't know who's going to play the slot. Their line is okay. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Graham, I don't love him. But Montgomery is solid. I feel they should have kept the other guy, Jordan Howard. I don't know why they got rid of him. And Tyreek Cohen is good. But other thing that'll hold the Bears back other than quarterback, injuries, is they coach. They coach don't know how to run the ball consistently. That's my issue. Other than injuries, the quarterback position and they coach is terrible. They coach don't believe in. He come from the Andy Reid tree. They don't believe in running the ball. And that's why Mitchell Trubisky is so trash. If they ran the ball and Trubisky only had to make a couple throws a game, they probably can get by on some Trent Dilfer type stuff. But I think the Bears is the biggest wild card in the division outside of Detroit as far as going from, you don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion on it. The Bears got a really good squad other than their coach and other than their quarterback. So I don't know why people shitting on the Bears, but I don't like them. But if the quarterback show up and play, I don't know why they didn't sign Cam. If he show up and play, the Bears probably gonna run away with it. Green Bay, they added the kid. What's his name? From Boston College. Is it AJ Dillon? So it sounds like the Packers are gonna go more of a run, a power run offense with Aaron Jones and the kid from Boston College. They're gonna be more ground and pound, and I think they're gonna limit Aaron Rodgers' dropbacks a little bit because he's getting older, he's getting frail. So I get where they're going. They drafted a tight end. Okay, they added Devin Funchess. I didn't know that until I looked this up. They added Devin Funchess. So if he can come back healthy, somebody signed him last year. I think it was the Colts. He got injured. So if he can get him something other on other side of Devontae Adams, they dangerous too. The Packers, but it all depends on health and depends if Funches can step up and they can stop the run. I think teams got a lot of drop on how they rush in the passing. They got a lot of success rushing the passer, but teams gonna pick up on how Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith how they got to the quarterback last year. So for Green Bay to kind of take the division over with, I think they got to have a star outside of Devontae Adams in the passing game and outside of Aaron Jones out the backfield. They got to count on another receiver stepping up, Funches. And also, the biggest part of their problem is they got to be able to be stronger in the interior. They got to be able to stop the run. If they're not able to stop the run and they don't get no pass catcher playmakers outside of Devontae Adams, I don't see them really being successful this year. And obviously, the one common thing all four teams got in the division is health. But with the Packers, they're going to go to more of a ground and pound type of thing. That can make Rodgers deadlier with the bigger windows with play action. But for me, Funches got to step up. That tight end they drafted got to step up. I believe, they're pounding the ball. And they got rid of Brian Bulaga left. I don't know if he retired or what happened to him. But they right tackle gone. So obviously, that's the run side of the line. So they probably feel comfortable whoever they got to take over for Brian Bulaga. Now we're talking about the Vikings. I think the Vikings outside of Detroit, and people having their opinion about Detroit, we just talking about the other three teams right now. We know what we think about Detroit. We just gonna kind of abstain from Detroit. Okay. The thing about the Vikings is that They lost Stephon Diggs. We know what Stephon Diggs did to Darius Slay last year. We know what he brought to the team. We know they couldn't. Kirk Cousins couldn't give him the ball, and he was on Kirk Cousins' head. But they also lost Xavier Rhodes, who wasn't playing particularly well last year. They lost Everson Griffin. He may or may not come back. Who the fuck knows? Excuse my language. So pretty much that team is going to be predicated on Justin Jefferson stepping in and being able to, feel or kind of feel Steph. It really don't got to feel Stephon Diggs' shoes. The only impact that losing Stephon Diggs gives for the Vikings is the threat. That means more people going to be able to put more attention on Adam Thielen. So if Thielen don't be healthy this year, or Thielen don't do well in his new Juju Smith-Jr. Schuster type role, where Juju got a lot of the coverage with Antonio Brown being gone, and Justin Jefferson don't step up for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins could have an abysmal year. They line ain't the greatest neither. They might have added some offensive linemen this year. Let me look it up. They might have added some offensive linemen this year. Uh, but Diggs being gone, they added Jeff Gantley out of TCU. They added an offensive tackle, Cameron Dantzler, uh, and Ezer Cleveland. So they got two new rookie offensive linemen that could start. So they trying to rebuild their line. They took our leftovers in Riley Reef, which I could have told him he wasn't much of a thing. No, this Vikings ain't a team to fear. See, yo thinking is totally freaking backwards. They going out there. Xavier Rhodes wasn't that good last year. He wasn't that good. Let's just start off there. He wasn't that good. They got rid of him. They lose one of their top pass rushers in Everson Griffin. They lose Stephon Diggs. You can say Justin Jefferson love him at LSU. But will he come in this year and beat Stephon Diggs? Even if even if he is Stephon Diggs, Kirk Cousins still couldn't get Stephon Diggs the ball unless they was playing teams like the Lions last year. So this team goes as far as those rookie offensive linemen take them, and as far as Dalvin Cook can take them on their back, and Danielle Hunter rushing the pass rush, straight up and down. The Vikings is a team with a lot of holes right now, or a lot of rookies that's questionable that you're going to see what they're going to do. If Dalvin Cook go down, this team, if you stop Dalvin Cook, somebody talking about the Bears defense and block, they had a lot of injuries last year. Go back and watch when the Vikings went to Soldier Field, what they did to Minnesota. What they did, Dalvin Cook couldn't run nowhere. That's the game that Thielen and Stephon Diggs was lightning to Kirk Cousins. That defense, when healthy, shut them down in my Chuck D voice. They shut down the Minnesota Vikings. They were nothing in that game. That's when Chicago defense was healthy. And that was with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. The Vikings only going to go as far as Dalvin Cook take them, bro. Straight up and down. And that defense take them. If Ganley able to come in and do better than Xavier Rhodes, did they sign back Trey Waynes? And obviously Harrison Smith is a dog. Eric Kendrick's one of my favorite middle linebackers in the league. Anthony Barr, he all right. If they able to replace Rhodes, upgrade from Rhodes, Everson Griffin, and they able to get another year out of Dalvin Cook, which he been injury prone, then the Minnesota Vikings could take the division. I'm not saying they could or couldn't. But I'm saying is, once again, it's another team where you got questions at the quarterback position. If Dalvin Cook don't run, the Vikings are nothing. They're nothing versus a top-notch team. If Dalvin Cook get injured week one, I guarantee you, unless somebody else go down in this division, the Vikings won't be shit. They're Kurt too accurate. Kurt ain't fucking accurate. Not when it count. Where was that accuracy at versus the 49ers last year? Where was that accuracy at all them years in Washington when the Coon Boys was Dallas Coon Boys was stumping their head in? He accurate versus teams like Detroit last year. He made one pass versus I ain't saying Trubisky ain't, but they got Nick Foles. He made one pass. Man, you getting me started on Kirk Cousins, bro. Can't stand that bum ass nigga, bro. Even at Michigan State, boom. He make throws when it don't matter, bro. Nick Foles got injured though, which I predict that's gonna happen this year anyway. You know what I'm saying? I ain't arguing against the Bears gonna be trash or not. I'm just saying I predict Nick Foles, even if they start off hot, I predict Nick Foles fall out and the Bears have some trouble this year. At some point, maybe training camp, maybe them eating supper and training camp, he slip on the fucking Gatorade top. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but me, Jay Jefferson, we all know you can't count on Nick Foles unless he in Philadelphia. We can agree on that. So I'm not arguing that the Bears is gonna be trash or not. I'm just saying if Nick Foles can come in and be solid, they got the best chance to me outside of here, Detroit, to win a division. But if he gonna be trash like we probably or get injured like we predict, I agree with you. Not worried about the Bears then. But this is good things about the hypotheticals. Vikings, if Dalvin Cook don't stay healthy, they got no chance. Justin Jefferson is not Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is better than Amari Cooper. Stop having man. I ain't care about no Kirk Cousins. He trash as hell. Trash. He was trash at Michigan State. When the going get the tough and the ass cheeks get to squeezing in the fourth quarter when the game on the line, I can take 20 other quarterbacks. I'd rather throw the ball in a critical position. I was shocked versus New Orleans Saints. He dropped that ball in the bucket. But Drew Brees been choking in the playoff for years, so it don't really shock me. Drew Brees lost that game more than Kirk Cousins won it. He made a magnificent throw. But what he do the next week? He froze up like a freeze pop in a frozen refrigerator. I ain't trying to hear that. Kirk Cousins trash ass, trash as hell. Trying to hear that shit. Can't believe y'all Spartan bum. I mean, I probably still trying to go out. Oh, Connor Cook still can be a good quarterback. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that shit. This is the same Kirk. I don't care what the numbers say last year. This is the same Kirk Cousins that his receivers was cussing him out because he couldn't get the job done. Ain't nothing changed. Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, that could help. But if Cook go down, it's over with. So right now, if I had to give my honest opinion, it's all about an if. Who the most improved? Obviously, if I'm going to be a biased homer, I like to say Lions did the most. If I be like the rest of these whack-ass YouTube dudes out here dick riding all the time. But if I had to be honest, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. Straight up and down. I don't have an answer. All these dudes have an if. That's the beautiful thing about the offseason. It's about an if. If Danny Shelton come in and step up. If Okora step up. If they can protect and run the ball with Stafford. If Patricia able to, generate more pressure. If Okuda come in and do well. If Tracy Walker take that step. If Armani take that step. If Coleman take the step. If Trufant can come play well. If TJ Hawkinson going to take that step. If Tavai going to take that step. If Stenberg and Jonah Jackson going to do well. If Big V can come in and hold the spot down and be an upgrade over Wick Wagner. You know what I'm saying? If the new special teams coach, and that's one thing y'all sleeping about before I open up on Q&A. That special teams coach is so critical to how important this season going to be. It don't fucking matter. It's an if. It's an if. You can say the Lions most improved, but it's all an if. If DeAndre Swift come in and do his job. If Kerryon take it serious. If Stafford stay healthy. And you want to talk about the solids, if they are healthy, Kenny, Marvin, Danny. And that's the only solid dudes I can really count on. And Ragnar, if you want to get technical, them the four solid dudes. You go to Green Bay, you can probably count on Rodgers without injuries, Aaron Jones, and I don't even know if you can count on the Smith brothers. They can duplicate what they did last year. You know what I'm saying? You probably can count on that kicker Mason Crosby being good, but he missed some cakes versus Detroit. Was that last year? If you want to put the Smith brothers, Jair Alexander in there, cool. Minnesota, if Dalvin Cook healthy, if Ganley can step in for Xavier Rhodes, if Trey Wayne's gonna step, it's a lot of ifs. It's a lot. You can count on Harrison Smith. You can count on Danielle Hunter. You can count on Eric Kendricks. You can count on Delvin Cook without talking about injuries. Adam Thielen, you can count on him. And then Irv Smith, see if he step up this year from year 1 to year 2 tight end. But every team got an if. The Bears, if Nick Foles stay healthy. If he don't, it's over with. They probably gonna have an opportunity to draft Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence next year. You feel me? Or they gonna take some random quarterback. With Justin Field and Trevor Lawrence on the board, the Bears have the number 1 pick. They take Matt Johnson out of North Dakota State University. Nobody seen this coming. They had Trevor Lawrence and they had Justin Fields on the board, and they take Matt Johnson from North Dakota State. Now Matt Johnson he's no Carson Wentz, but I can't believe this, Bob. What's my man's name? That be on there with the Mel Kiper. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Todd. I just can't believe they would do it again. You had Trevor Lawrence on the field, on the board. You had Justin Fields. You go with Matt Johnson. He was my 59th ranked quarterback. Todd, excuse me, Mel. We only have 12 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I can't believe they did this. I can see them doing that shit again. They did it with Trubumsky. They did it. So, hey, like I said, it's all the if. There's a lot of ifs in the NFC North. It's still one of the most toughest and competitive divisions out there. And that's why the Lions haven't won it since it was the Central Division. I think in 91 and 93 they won it again or some shit like that. So it's a tough division. If the Lions was in the NFC East, they probably win that boy every now and again. 8-8 and 7-9 win the NFC North almost every NFC East every year. The Lions should probably benefit from a restructure. But if y'all got some questions, I'll answer them. So if I missed any, shoot me the questions now. The Lions could be like the 98 Piston teams that 56 games and they overachieved. That could be. Could be. They probably gonna extend y'all boy quicker than quick. They gonna extend Matt Patricia gonna get the largest contract in NFL history. Facts. The only fact I know this football season is the beers are cold at the game. Yeah, football, man. Anything can happen. Some people can fall off their prime like that. Some people prime can be gone like that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll get to these questions. He says that the problem with the Lions is most of their guys are backup players on other teams. Jay Jefferson, Prince Boss said, facts so true. 1993 was the last time they won the division. Yep, it was Central Division. I think they won in 91 too. Bigfoot Annan. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I don't care about that. Michael say, I can't pronounce your name. But Michael say, CJ the Packers signed Rick Wagner to be their starting right tackle. Watch that, man. He choked travel. Why she go over there and be a road grader? I forgot they signed Rick Wagner. That was a downgrade, bro. If they don't get rid of Stafford, who should they get? If they do get rid of Stafford, shit. Depends on what position they in next year. Depending on how the college season play out. If it's the college season, so who knows? It's always a dark horse. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. I don't know much past that, but it's always another quarterback that come out of nowhere. Look at Joe Burrow this year. I wouldn't have mind if Joe Burrow would have failed us. I like his game. Accurate, down the field, mobile. But I'm kind of inclined. I like Trevor Lawrence, but I'm going to be mad with Justin Fields. Michigan State quarterback's always been trash from Connor Crick, Kirk Cousins, Tony Banks, Jeff Smoker. And then you go like the Wesleyan John Glenn. Was that him? So yeah, it was crazy, man. Any more questions, man? I got a little minute, man. If y'all got some questions, I got the answers. Y'all got some questions, I'll try to have an answer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said before, Michigan State ain't really never had the top tier quarterback. I forgot Tony Banks was their quarterback. Elijah said, I think Foles done. Me too. You know, if he ain't in New York, if he ain't in Philly, I think he done. I agree with that one. Anytime you just start getting injured, hey, he was throwing that thing in their first game last year. But Gardner Minshew, we'll see where you from. West side, west side, west side, west side, west side. Jim Miller. West side the best side. I love my East Side dudes though. Wagner and Green Bay, no holding calls. You get beat, they call it. You ain't lying, bro. Ain't gonna be no holding calls on Rick Wagner ass. You ain't lying, bro. Rick Wagner gonna be immaculate. Yeah, cause Shea Patterson is a monster, man. We got Elvis Gerback, shit, Tom, Brian Greasy. we got a few. Hey, we got a few, bro. Shea Patterson, man. Shea Patterson, man, he made me so mad last year, bro. I could have choked him and Harbaugh last year, dog. They had some games there this year. I'm gonna go this year. For real, I'm definitely gonna go. Sag Nasty, salute. You should check out Trey Lance, dude to the beach from North Dakota State. Yeah, I checked him out, bro. Yeah, I checked him out, bro. He was balling. I seen his little highlight tape. Was it Jerry Productions? Jerry Productions do a great job, bro. A lot of dudes out here do a great job of editing, man. Jerry, one of my favorites, bro. Much love to Jerry Productions. I don't think we need to respect Stafford more once he gone. He can go to another quarterback drought. Shit, if he leave and ball out, niggas like, he can do it in Detroit. Yeah, Shea Patterson was trash. Persian, salute. Who was the that black quarterback y'all had a few years ago? Who? Who black quarterback we had a few years ago? Anybody help me out? Who? I remember Stafford, Shine Hill. We had Tyreek Jackson for a minute, on the practice squad. Oh, you talking about Bob Felicia's son. You talking about Bob Felicia's son, the dude from Miami. His mom played Felicia on Friday. You talking about him? He got moved down there to Carolina off the practice squad. Oh, you talking about in Michigan? Oh, Denard Robinson. I thought you talking about Detroit. Denard Robinson. Yeah, Shoelace. I know. I played a little bit college with some people that played against him and shit. You could say Charlie Batch, Andre Ware. Shit. We had a couple on the practice squad. The Bob Felicia's son, Tyree Jackson. He was from here. He went to Buffalo. Yeah, a few. Yeah, Denard Robinson you talking about. Yeah, Brad K. was his name. Thank you. Yeah, Denard Robinson. Shoelace. Yeah, man. Shoelace almost killed himself a few years ago. He was sinking in one of them swamps and looked that story up in Florida. His car was sinking. Somebody pulled him out. I don't know if they was high, sleep, or what. He almost lost his life. Rodney Pete. His wife fine as hell. I used to love his wife. What's his wife's name? She used to be an actor and shit. He still look good too. We gonna run KJ hard and swift, then sign KJ cheap or let him go. Culpepper was a backup. Good look. Yep. Get your roll on. I remember in Minnesota, he used to get his roll on. He used to get the roll on. One thing about Minnesota that's sweet when they blow them cannons though. When they blow them horns, that shit kind of sweet. I ain't gonna lie. Always like Tampa Bay blowing the cannons. One of my favorite white players of all time was Mike Allstott. I used to like Mike Allstott. Used to run over motherfuckers, dog. I had a Mike Allstott. I was a huge football fan, even in elementary. I had a Mike Allstott folder. I had a Barry Sanders folder too. That's when they used to make those type of things like that, man. Mike Allstott was a fucking dog. He could play on my team any day. Mike Allstott was just running over cats. Boom, boom. Still, man, I used to love watching Tampa Bay play because Mike Allstott was sorry in the motherfucker at one point. But Mike Allstott, Warwick Dunn, and them cannons, used to love that shit. Holly Robinson, yeah, buddy. 21 Jump Street, that shit was funny as hell, bro. Both of them motherfuckers, dog. I had seen them at the dollar store. One of them, the first one, I seen at the dollar store out there in Allen Park, but they closed that down. They had the best popcorn too, dog. Yep. Barry Sanders is better than Calvin Johnson. That's best line. Yeah, I can agree. I think Herman Moore was a good lion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good lions over the course of time. People shit on Bobby Lane, but he bought championships here. I don't care if it wasn't in 1950s. Hey, real talk, Matthew Stafford, generation version of Jeff George. Hey, I can see that. Oh, Jeff George ass. He used to look like a little fake Aikman in the face mask with his black eye paint. He said you wasn't tackling Mike full speed. It was good. Oh no, you wasn't, bro. He had a little speed on him, but he wasn't. But he bringing the wood, bro. I mean, he done ran over it, man. That's like a Hummer on the football field, man. It used to be fun watching football back in the day because even though it wasn't the golden era in the '90s and the early 2000s, college football was better in the '90s and the early 2000s too. It was physical. It was a physical, bro. It was physical, bro. Football was a different type of physical, dog. All Star used to give niggas the business. I watch every. I don't know why we always just get Tampa Bay games all the time, but they ain't do business. He said I competed at CP from the West Side. I don't know who that is. Who was that? Johnny Morton was good for a minute. Yeah, light skinned Johnny Morton. He said Stafford is a Jeff George. He damn Marino. I don't know about Marino, but they think he Marino. Do you think the Lions are going to start DeAndre? I don't think it's about starting Alexis. I think it's more about um, carries. You know, I think it's basically with this backfield, they go who finished the game. So I don't know. If they come out and they feel that, you know, DeAndre Swift a better pass catcher, he'll start. But I think it's about who get more carries. And right now I can't say until training camp come because the thing for DeAndre Swift is gonna be if he can pick up in pass protection. The Lions drop back a lot. And if he can't pick up in pass protection, he won't see the field early on until he pick up pass protection. But in Georgia, they played a lot of pro style, so that shouldn't be a problem. When the Lions get a new owner, then things will change. We'll see. Y'all know Dave Burkett. Y'all like Dave. He's straight. Stafford's going to be doing the same orthopedic commercials in 20 years. Just wait. He's all damn Marino. Lions need like an Eric Metcalf type of player. You talking about DK Metcalf? Do you think the Lions are going to start DeAndre Swift? Oh, I answered that question already. I don't think they're going to start him or not. I think it's going to be who get the most carries. So he probably get a lot of carries if he pick up a pass protection. So I don't think it's about starting or not in this offense. I just think about who better fit to what they come out to. They come out in, you know, I formation single back or something like that, and they looking to run the ball, you know, and they might look at carry on. They're looking to come out, spread it out, and run it or pass it. They're probably going to be starting DeAndre. The only way I want the four selling into another the only way I want the four selling to another Detroit family if someone else gets them, they go move the team. Hey man, I don't think they're gonna move the team. Who cares? I don't think they're gonna move the team. Shit, if they do move, I mean, shit, it's more like we was winning shit here. I'll take that risk if they get somebody else. I'll take that risk because we're not winning with the Fords. So I don't think you're gonna move a franchise that if you put a winner, the Lions is a gold mine. So I don't see that happening. They make money losing. So imagine if they put a winner on the field, they're gonna be swimming in money. Eric Metcalf was electric. Eric Metcalf from the Cleveland Browns, late 80s and 90s. I had to check him out. He was with Bernie Kosar. I'd be a better GM than Bob Quinn. Just give me a capologist, bro. We get this shit popping. Super Bowl, man. I'll be Super Bowl, man. Give me a good 5 years. Super Bowl. Hey, but I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Gonna do this a little bit more often. I did Piston live stream yesterday, so if you missed that, check out the Piston one-on-one playlist. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got a business question, inquiry, response to your video request. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate the love, support. Want to make a donation? Cash out, PayPal, subscription. Best way to support me is to or donate is to share the video for your boy. He said, "Could you imagine the kind of attendance the Lions could get if they're in the NFC Championship game?" Look here, man. I worked the game when they made the playoffs, when they clinched the playoff spot versus the San Diego Chargers. That fucking atmosphere was the loudest and the most electric I can remember the Ford Field. And I've been to a lot of the Lions games. So these work security down there. That was the most electric I ever seen, bro. Real talk. That was like a big ass party. Now, Thanksgiving excluded, you know, but that was the most electric I ever seen. Lion fan travel well. I do all the games, people everywhere. Yeah, man, they got a nice fan base. If they win, it's over with. It's a gold mine. Martha gonna be rolling in her grave. Like, damn, we should have